Morning, everyone. It's Monday morning, almost the last day of the quarter, and this is video number 690, pre-opening comment for today. And there was certainly plenty of news around. Asia and Europe are both slightly higher, but the big news of the day is this blow up of a private office, which is essentially the same thing as calling it a hedge fund. And it looks as if they were leveraged of about 5 to 7 times. They had been very successful, but of course leverage cuts in both directions, and they didn't have access to capital when their positions started to melt a bit. Most specifically, the reaction to Viacom when they did just that $3 billion deal to cover the first year's new NFL contract, which had doubled in price to them. So ARCHEGOS, ARCHEGOS, looks like ARCHEGOS, but the fact of the matter is they got stuck pretty badly and went through liquidation, and there's going to be a lot of fallout. There's the fallout in the stocks that they own, which were things like Tencent and BIDU and a couple of other Chinese companies, as well as the biggest name that we saw action in the other day, which was Viacom. Viacom and Discovery both had huge blocks, and the word started to get around, and the firms where the stocks were held went just, falling all over themselves to front run the orders. So you have Goldman Sachs down $10 this morning, Credit Suisse also in there, down 5%. Tencent announcing a buyback, but part of that, I'm sure, is to kind of stave off the effects of this massive blow up. These are the kind of things that you see in this kind of market. I heard somebody on CNBC this morning talking about the fact that, when you buy something, you want to buy it and know that somebody else is going to buy it after you. Which validates your purpose and, of course, grants liquidity. But the fact of the matter is, this is a huge blow up. We don't even know all of the names, but I will tell you, as I mentioned before, Viacom, Tencent, Discovery, and a bunch of other Chinese stocks, including GSX, which is, I believe, an online educational company. So we'll have to see how that shakes out today, and I'm sure we'll be hearing from Elizabeth Warren about, the fact that, these are the people she wants to take her, quote, 2 cents from. So in any event, when I came down this morning, the market was down about 120, and the NASDAQ was down about 30, and the S&P were down also about $14 right now. The S&P is down $21. The NASDAQ is down about $50, and the Dow looks like it's down about 170. The focus in Washington is an infrastructure deal, as well as the fact that the Biden administration has come out and said that they're not in any great rush to lift any of the China tariffs. So the chart on the screen is Bitcoin, which looks like it fell right back into that round number support at 50,000, and this morning is trading up almost 5,000, up at 58,705. We also had the news that the tanker has started to be lifted is not fully afloat. It is secured, and we'll see how that breaks out. There are over 350 ships with things from retail goods to materials to product and food, all of which, and of course oil and nat gas, waiting outside the entrance, trying to decide whether or not there's going to be a real clearance so that they can get through, or whether they're going to have to spend an extra 10 or 12 days going the long route. This is especially bad for Europe, not so much for us, but Europe and the UK are awaiting retail goods, consumer non-durables, as I said, oil and nat gas, and so we'll have to see how that breaks out in the next day or so. This is the oil chart. It looks like it's trying to hold here, but this could also be a little bit of a bear flag, consolidation across here. The 5-day seems to be trying to level off and turn back up, and of course these bigger days are falling off now, so there's a possibility that that could happen. But if we break to the downside here, the next stop is about $50, so that's a 20% move in the gold, not some in the oil, not something I'd really like to see. The gold, on the other hand, is very quiet and has been for a while. It's down almost $9 this morning. As I pointed out in last night's video and last night's market letter, we are trying to roll back to the upside. We are flagging out, but as you can see, the ranges on a daily basis have gotten smaller and smaller. So that's where we are this morning. Be careful out there. It is tough, and I'll be back tonight.